All right. What is up? Happy Thursday, everybody. We are back at it after our 2-day hiatus for the Benzinga small cap event.
Did you guys miss us?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Did you guys miss us? One, if you missed us. Two, if you didn't.
I missed you guys.
What'd you say?
I missed all you guys out there.
Yeah, I mean, we missed 2 days. You're not seeing anything. What do you mean you're not seeing anything? We should be live. Are we live, Sharon? Oh yeah, we got people saying.
Oh yeah, we got the ones coming.
We're live on Periscope. We're live on Periscope. I don't know what's going on with the YouTube. Let me go in. But yeah, we missed you guys.
We're live on the YouTube. We're good.
You're good. You're good. Okay. Well, the Lambo group is messing me up. Is tricking me then. Okay. Well, that's good. So, how did you guys like our first large small cap conference, the Benzinga Global Small Cap Conference? How'd you guys like it? Give us some feedback. If you liked it, press 1. You know, give us some feedback. Smash that like button. Small cap.
And here's a question that I want to ask too: is do any of you guys give us some indication in the chat? And again, guys, we use the YouTube chat. That's where the majority of the group is. So if you're watching on Periscope or on Facebook and you want to join the rest of the group, go over to the Benzinga YouTube channel. But again, in the chat, tell us. I want to know if you guys trade IDEX or SRNE. The traffic and demand that we had for those stocks was insane. I mean, I've never seen like more of a following on any stock.
And I went to Twitter this morning, like early, and people talking about it, the conversations. But how about some of those moves, Luke? FUV. I mean, the guy started, it was 8%, it was up 22%. And not just that, Luke, there was plenty more fish for fodder. I mean, and I said, and I don't know if you guys listen to me when I say these things, but I said, I'm going to go to my executed trades. So I want to see what I actually was looking at. Oh yeah, this is the one. MMEDF. I mean, are you guys did you guys pull up that chart, Luke? MMEDF. That is the one to pull up. Okay. So when they started talking, I mean, you're looking at a 2 day.
This is 2 day.
It went up 25%. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, we had 50,000 investors on this thing.
Yep.
You know, so
and if there are any of these small cap companies that you guys care about or think like they're amazing companies and the story needs to get out, the market just doesn't realize it. Tell us. Just hammer it to us. We can get the CEOs on the show. It's an easy ask for us to make, but we're not going to know who they are unless you're dropping us the tickers.
Yeah. So exactly, and like things that were trade. I memean, I didn't front run it. I bought these things like at when the guys were on. So like FUV, crazy. The one I did like CVLB. It's a telemedicine one, but maybe a long-term thing. But I don't know if I still own CVLB or not. I got to look at CV.
Wait, I think we need to wait. CV.
Yeah. CVLB. Charlie, Victor, Lisa, boy.
Conversion Lab.
Yeah. So they were on yesterday. The guy definitely had an interesting story. Okay, let's do one from the chat real quick. Yatra, YTRA.
Boom, okay. It's up.
What?
It's up. And if you don't know this business, really quick.
It's down.
Okay, sorry. The chart is up.
The chart is down.
Okay.
You're trying to say the chart is
I'm trying to say I've got it up on the screen.
There you go. I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant. But wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say for anybody who doesn't know what their business is they are like a travel brand for India, right? So sort of like we have I don't know, like a Priceline or a TripAdvisor here, where you can do flight bookings and that sort of thing. They handle that for the Indian market.
So let's do a little moment on Yatra. Okay, so Yatra handles, you know what Luke just said, travel booking for the Indian market. Okay, their competitor in the space is called Make My Trip. That is MMYT, I believe. MMYT. Okay, their valuation is like 10 times or 15 times so Yatra market cap is 60 million, and then Make My Trip is 2.6 billion, and Yatra I think it has like a quarter of the revenue. There's a valuation discrepancy between these two. And I haven't done my full research on it at this point, but it was one that was interesting that was on the show. And I'm gonna do.
And so really quick on that valuation note you're making. So I've got the quick numbers. So the Yatra is trading at 2 times price to sales, and the other one, Jason, what was the name of the other one?
Make My Trip.
So Make My Trip is trading at 9.5 times price to sales.
Yeah.
So there could be some convergence there.
And we get it, like, you know, being number 1, number 2, number 3, there's gonna be big differences in the market. I mean, think of Amazon, then who's the number 2 or 3, but there is potentially a big discrepancy here. So I think you'll see some more stuff from Yatra. It was one of the ones that presented. Yeah, I mean, I own a small portion of it, but it's one that, you know, I want to watch. I mean, I would look for a little bit of insider buying. For some insider buying that makes me more confident. I see that pricing discrepancy between Yatra and Make My Trip. So there is some room to move, but you got to get catalysts. And one of the things that Yatra has, I think 60% of its revenue is from corporate booking, whereas Make My Trip is more consumer booking. Corporate booking has slowed down because of Corona, but with the vaccine, you know, things can come back, and Yatra could be one of those things. Like, you guys know, if you followed me in Sabre Holdings, that was at a 450 when I picked it up, and now it's at like 12. SBRE, sorry, SBRE, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was grabbing one out of the chat. Well, let me grab this one out of the chat real quick. So somebody dropped in that they bought LIVX, Live by Live, during the chat. Ticker LIVX.
During the chat?
Or in the chat, they bought it during the show.
Okay, so these guys presented, is what you're saying?
Yep. Yeah. This is the guy, the radio guy, the Westwood One Radio.
All right. So is this you're on a 2-day chart then?
Yeah, this is a 2-day chart. But I think this is a super interesting business. If anybody's looking for a small media play and with a team that's done media before and done media successfully before, this is definitely one to check out.
Yeah, I mean wow. I didn't know, Luke, the symbol when I was listening to that one. What this one was? That's why when you said, so wait, what is that symbol? I can't see.
LIVX. So it's Lima India Victor X-ray.
Okay, Lima Victor. Okay, cool.
And guys, go ahead and smash the like for us. We're back at it after this 2-day hiatus. Come on.
Yeah, come on, guys. Smash with 29 likes. 116 watching. Where the heck are you guys?
And we didn't even do the thing that I start every single episode with, which is the reminder. The point of this show is to be the best trade idea resource out there. I mean, we want this to be the 45 minutes where you can just be filled up with trade ideas, and not just from myself, not just from Jason, not just the guests that we bring on, but I think most importantly, out of the chat, right? That's why we ask for 1s and 2s when we're doing ticker battles. That's why we ask you guys which tickers you're trading, positions you're getting into, out of, etc. And the more likes that we have, the bigger the stream gets, and the bigger this audience gets. So it's more and more ideas that we have going, more stocks we can talk about, more trades we can make, etc. So that's why it's important to hit the like button.
Yeah, and I mean, guys, that show yesterday, the last 2 days, it was funny. And Luke, I don't know if you saw this, but someone in the beginning is like, why are these companies presenting? Like, why is it not an interview? This person is a retail trader. No offense to retail trading at all. That's our bread and butter. What this person
love it. Yeah, that's ZingerNation, baby.
That's ZingerNation. What this person didn't realize is we brought an institutional level conference to retail investors. And so when you guys hear about like some companies presenting at the Credit Suisse Biotech Conference or what have you, that's what we did yesterday. Like, that's what we did for the last 2 days. And we could have charged like $595 a ticket or more. We really could have. And yes, there'd be less people watching, but it would have been a crowd that, you know, you could sort of qualify that they have a lot of money and they're spending that kind of money on tickets. And we could have made Benzinga. We probably would have made in ticket sales $40,000. We made a decision to forego ticket revenue. We made it free because we wanted to bring everyone in and see how it went and see the feedback, to see how bringing retail traders in it. And only time will tell, you know, but I think that we got a pretty good response. And if any of those companies that you saw present and you enjoyed them at our event, it would be awesome if you send them an email. You just go to their IR site and say, hey, I loved you guys presenting at the Benzinga conference. Again, I want to repeat this. We made the conference free for you guys. There was some debate at our company about a month and a half ago. to charge $5.90, well, $7.95, $8.95 for last minute tickets, $5.95 for previous tickets. And there are a couple people, including myself, said, let's make it free and open it up. So if there's any companies that you heard yesterday and you got, you liked it, whatever, or anything, send them a quick email. You don't have to write even a paragraph. Say, loved hearing you guys at the Benzinga conference. Loved seeing the story on it. There's just something, because we want them to come back. And this is, hopefully the beginning.
And what we're going to do for the next one, because we're going to start doing these regularly because the feedback has been amazing, is on this show, we're going to drop in a survey of which stocks you want to see presenting, right? Because we don't know what some of these hot tickers are, like the SRNE, the IDEX. So we're going to be asking you guys on this show to fill out a survey of, hey, what companies do you want us to get at this event? Because really it is your event.
Yep. Sports event. Okay, so that is that. So I hope you guys liked. Hopefully you got a chance. I mean, you realize you guys being here, you get so most people aren't even here, right? And so they're losing that advantage. You're getting upfront access to companies that you wouldn't before, and you wonder why you see hedge funds make money year in, year out. They get access. I'm not saying inside information, but they get access. We're giving you that same access. Benzinga also has a product called Benzinga Pro, which Luke, I need to talk about the CEOs of Benzinga at the small cap event. They wanted access to it, and I actually think we should give some. I think we should actually give access to them to use it and get it set up, and we can walk them through it. I think that could be a big thing. But what I was gonna say to you is, Benzinga Pro, it gets rid of a lot of the noise. Having those little windows pop up. The guy that I talked to loved it. So James Braden, he bought Verb. He traded FUV the last 2 days. So this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm just going to slow down for 1 second on us moving forward, Luke.
Okay.
James Braden, he bought Verb, which is on the thing. He bought FUV, and I bought FUV. Okay, I bought FUV. And it's like I said on the show, I told you guys that I did the pre-interview for the EV. Okay, this was last week, Luke. You'll remember this. Yep. I did a pre-interview with the EV panel, okay, and then I said I wasn't going to say the symbol because I didn't want, and I didn't trade it. So Luke, can you put like a 2 week or a 5 day? I don't know, you got 1 month. Okay, good.
Here's 1 month. Yep.
Okay, so or do 5 day because it'll be a little easier to see this. 5 day. All right. No, I guess.
Here's your 5 day.
All right. So it was way lower. Okay. So I literally said I didn't want to say the symbol. But now you guys, enterprising, could go to our site and see the agenda. But I said this EV CEO is super impressive. And the company I was referring to is this one. And the stock was at $9. The stock opened up 10% that morning that he was going to be on. I didn't trade ahead. I bought the stock once he went on the show. That's when I bought. I wanted to buy on Thursday. I had no inside information. All the reason I didn't buy it was because I did the pre-interview. But even though I know inside, I just didn't want to buy it. I wanted to buy after. But I gave you guys this one last week and saying there's a EV thing if you went to our page. But I'm just saying these are, now again, there's no crystal ball. Even if I bought it, I didn't buy huge because you never know in the short term. You never know in the short term. That's with everything. So.
And somebody in the chat saying, didn't the British kid bring this up? If you guys remember on Monday, we had our 12-year-old stock genius. I loved that kid. This was a stock that he brought up as well and pitched as one of his core holdings. It was this one and Hire Car, ticker HYRE, Hotel Yankee Romeo Echo. He brought this one up as well.
Okay, and then I have a surprise coming up in the online sports betting industry. There's a CPA who put together a really nice chart on the online sports betting industry. He did the valuations comparing GAN, Genius, Golden Nugget, which is LCA, comparing to DMYT, DKNG, GAN, DMYD. He's going to be coming on in about 10 minutes to go over that and comparing from a valuation perspective the 5 online sports betting players. And Penn's not on here, so I wanted to see why Penn's on here. Maybe the way he did it was just virtual ones. We'll see on that.
Awesome. All right. And I've got a question for the chat. If you watched our show last week, can you drop a 1 in the chat? That's my ask.
If you watched the show last week?
Yep. If you were on last week with us.
Are we going to celebrate you right now, Luke?
Yep, we're about to.
Okay. I'm not going to say why we're going to celebrate Luke. But listen, When the hot stock, I love when people say the kid, that's so like degrading, or they say, hey, buddy. When the guy gets it right, you got to give him mad props.
All right, so look at all the ones in there.
This guy,
you all owe me.
This guy said he was going long NYT as a trade again because of like what's going on with COVID, and he did this about 6 months ago, and I got it then. Yesterday, he goes, Jason, where's my thank you? Where's my gift? Where's my money? And I'm like, Luke, what? He's like, New York Times. I'm like, I didn't follow you this time. But check this out, Luke. Take your update on New York Times.
Here's the update on New York Times, guys. Last week on the show, I pitched ticker NYT, New York Times, November, Yankee Tango. I asked the chat if they liked this pitch or not. Almost everybody said they did not like the pitch. They said the stock was too run up. The basis for my thesis was that when states started locking down again and we started getting this cold weather, traffic on Benzinga.com exploded just like it did in the first wave of lockdowns. Traffic from other media sites that I talked to exploded on the first wave of lockdowns. And so I said, this is going to be good for New York Times. New York Times is your pure play digital media company. It's how you can get exposure to this space via the stock market. And despite the fact that I had this intel, that's not something that every person on the street knows. The chat still hated the pick. Well, just 5 days after I made my New York Times call, the company came out. They did raise guidance. They said this quarter is going to be way better than we initially expected. The stock has rallied since then. Let's see. So in the past 2 days, it's gone from 46 to 51. So you've got 10% there. And since I made the pick, the stock's gone from, what is this, 45-ish to 51. So you could have gotten another $1 out of it. So everybody in the chat, I'm sure you made money with me because you like that thinking. How much coffee have I had? Not enough yet. But these are the types of things that fire me up. I love stocks, okay?
Luke, can I tell that story, the TikTok story?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
So we have a TikTok channel. Wait, Luke, do you want to say any more on New York Times? Because if it's going to be a clip, I don't want to ruin that. Go ahead.
Yeah, the PayPal is benzinga@gmail.com if you want to remit some of the earnings over back to us. But go ahead with the TikTok story.
All right. Or they can do like the super sticker in YouTube right now, Luke. They can send
that too.
YouTube. Super stickers for Luke. Whatever you send goes to him. All right. So Luke, Luke has energy. Hot stocks Luke. The guy has energy. No doubt about it. We love it, right? So one of the editors cut our clip last week and put it on TikTok. And so the thing kind of went viral. What was the stock symbol, Luke?
Okay, so it was the pitch that I did on ticker PSTH, Papa
I own that
Hotel. It's Bill Ackman's Spac. I did the pitch on that on Monday. So keep going, Jason.
Yes, sir. So Luke had some high energy on that, and so like a couple people in the comments said, "How much Adderall is this guy on? How much Adderall is this guy on?" So what TikTok did was then it censored the video. It took it off the For You page because it looked like it was selling drug paraphernalia, even though the guy was making a comment because Luke's energy, and the guy goes, "How much Adderall was he on?" in the comment?
Yes, and not just one. There were about 24 comments saying this guy needs to lower his Adderall prescription, which I don't have one. I also don't take Adderall illegally. I just get fired up about this stuff.
Are you ripping on people that do or something? Like, come on.
No, not at all.
So you'd say, I don't have one, but I'm okay with it. It's like the Seinfeld episode. You're like,
no. I mean, when I saw those comments, it's like, all right, I'm doing something right. The energy is getting through. The passion I have for picking these stocks, for calling out these names is going through.
Yeah, so we got to bring the live show on the road, We got to do a live show. Yep. All right, so Luke, can I bring on our guest right now?
Yep, and I just want to say this, guys, for a segment that we'll get to in a little bit to stay tuned for. We're going to be talking about Doordash versus AirBnB. I've done a decent amount of digging on both of these stocks. I've got valuations for them, so stay tuned for that. But all right, Jason, let's bring the guest on.
All right, we are. Hold on, I got to hit add to screen. Okay, so Dan, this is Dan Cahill. He's on Twitter at MindWalletBody, and he did analysis on the online casino gambling sports betting plays. He's a CPA, and there was this chart which I'll share my screen so I could show it. I think that would be useful, so I will do that. But Dan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
So have you been following these online casino plays for a while?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much, ever since DraftKings came on board earlier this year, back when it was DIAC. I remember my buddy at work turned me on to that, and he told me about this Diamond Eagle acquisition company, and they had 2 employees, and he said, "Oh, this is going to be DraftKings," and I said, "This doesn't make any sense." And I started looking into it, and that's when I got turned on to the whole, Spac universe, which has since exploded, and now everyone and their brother is starting a Spac. So it's been quite a journey.
Got it. And so you've been in it for a while now. Do you have like favorites that you like? I mean, I'm looking at your. Can you see the table that I'm showing right now?
Yes, looks familiar.
Okay. So by seeing these numbers, is like, what's your favorite, or do you like, or them all, or is, I mean, I see who has the best, the best numbers, but what's your take on this stuff?
Yeah, I think just high level, what that shows is that maybe Genius Sports, so that's trading under the ticker DMYD, is maybe a little bit undervalued. The issue with that one is that came to market at the end of October when SPACs across the board were kind of in a world of pain. The month of October was not kind to the SPAC universe. And, with all the deals that have been announced, I think that one kind of got lost in the shuffle. And, people, in the last week or so are just starting to pick up on the value and the opportunity there. So that one has really picked up steam. It's down a little bit today. I think, some profit taking because it's run up so quickly. But, the volume has exploded. I think, it's gone from, under 1 million a day to, I think it was over 9 million yesterday. So people are getting turned on to that one. I think, your article the other day really set that stock off in the after hours session.
It did?
Oh yeah. All of a sudden the thing spiked, went from about 1150 to 1250
Luke,
in a matter of minutes after, you guys put out a little article on it. So
wait, what was the article about?
Wait, which ticker is that again?
This was DMYD.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find that article.
Yeah, Luke, pull it up. Take over my screen. And you don't just look at the online sports betting. You look at all SPACs, right?
I do. Yep.
Because I'm looking at your Twitter feed. You're talking about space SPACs, satellite SPACs. Are you trading full time? Are you CPA? What's your full time gig, I guess? Or
yeah, the CPA. Yeah, the CPA job pays the bills, and I kind of do this because it's an interest of mine.
Yeah. Okay. And so it's good. You put some real numbers to it. So any trades that you would want to talk about right now?
So I think that the SPAC sector has been pretty hot, and a lot of that has been led by the EV plays. I'm constantly trying to evolve my thought process. I think that we could be in for some pullbacks. If the overall liquidity in the market starts to dry up a little, that could affect SPACs, especially the pre-revenue, early revenue, which is a lot of the EV plays. So I'm trying to, play the news plays. If all of a sudden, an announcement comes out, a rumor or a definitive agreement, I can play that quick, or I can get in on the ground floor near NAV, net asset value on some of these, new to the market stocks. I think there's actually a couple in the online gaming space that, or the gaming, space in general that are kind of attractive right now. And one of those is IGAC, which is IG Acquisition Corp. It's led by Bradley Tusk of Tusk Ventures and also Christian Good. So they're part of Ivory Gaming Group, and they're targeting company in the leisure, gaming, or hospitality space. I think, if you look at Bradley Tusk, he's invested in a lot of startup companies, like Ripple, FanDuel, companies that are, innovative and disruptive. So he's got that tech focus, but then, it seems like they're trying to do something in the gaming space. So this is something that, I'm interested in. It's their first SPAC. And, the terms are actually really good. It's one common share. So if you buy a unit today, it's trading about $10.40. You get one common share plus half a warrant. and warrants I think we're trading around $1.20. So if you look at that, say about 60 cents for half a warrant, really you have a cost basis in the common share of about $9.80. And if you have $10 in the trust, and that only grows over time as interest compounds, then you have basically no downside risk, and you have unlimited upside potential.
Okay, no.
And Chris, who is our spec expert here at Benzinga and watches all these names. Chris, if you're watching and you've got an opinion on this one, drop it in the chat.
Yeah, and Dan, so that's a good IGAC. See, I never even heard of that one. All right, I like that. This is the thing, and like some of these stocks, Mitch Hodge one time gave me a workhorse at $4, Luke, and I just wrote it off because I'm a Tesla guy and I didn't buy it, and then it went to like $24. So but Chris did tell me, Mitch did say I could sell it at $8, but I didn't, whatever. Anyway, so back to you, Dan. I have a question. In your online, I'm stuck on the online sports stuff. We're going to bring on the CFO of Rush Street next week. I didn't realize, but a family good friend is the CFO, or not good friend, but a friend.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Like the guy messaged me, texted me, Luke, 3 months ago. I was going through my text on the airplane, and I'm like, oh my God, I never saw this text. I was so mad. And anyway, so Dan, what do you think about Penn National? When I look at DraftKings or these other ones like Penn, the numbers, like what do you think? Have you put it in your analysis? I don't see it in this chart here, maybe because you were looking at these other kind of plays, but wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so I was trying to stick to more of the pure play online gaming, which obviously Penn has the land-based plus the online. I suppose we could add that because a lot of the run-up this year has been attributable to obviously Barstool and Dave Portnoy, his ability to connect with people, and obviously they have a fantastic sports book and lots of great betting plays, in-game betting plays, for example, for football and such. Yeah, I mean, it just hit all-time highs the other day, I believe about $79. And if you look at the market cap, I think it's still reasonable. So that's a stock that I wouldn't bet against. I wouldn't short for sure. They got $11.6 billion market cap currently, which if you look at some of these other online gaming plays, I mean, DraftKings alone is 19 billion. So do the math. It's it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, like Penn has a lot of upside because, yeah, you got Dave Portnoy. You have they're just in Philadelphia. Next, I believe, will be Detroit, and then other states. And a thing that we talk about, Dan, on the show is the thing behind the thing sometimes. So the thing behind the thing, and that's where like GAN comes in. We can talk about that in a second. But what I learned recently is DraftKings uses some of Penn's licenses to open up, gambling in different states. So Penn is arguably the thing behind the thing for some of DraftKings business.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
I didn't know that. Dave, mentioned that in the interview. But yeah, I mean, I like Penn because Barstool has a brand. I mean, I've never seen a more. The thing I related it to, Dan, was like Howard Stern back in the day when everyone was like obsessed. Maybe they still are obsessed with Howard Stern, but I think like Barstool is that thing, sort of. Is that maybe an accurate statement?
There's nobody hotter than Dave Portnoy right now, and he just is able to connect with people in any walk of life. I just marvel at the way he is able to relate to and just he's the man. I mean, I don't know, what can you say? Yeah,
no, I agree. I did an interview with him a few weeks ago, and he's on it. I don't know. So then I'd won another. Well, I guess it's not a Penn one. So how are your results have been this year? Like, are you trading mostly SPACs, online gambling? Is it all over the place? Are you buying Tesla? What are your things that you're playing around with?
Yeah, I think when I try to stray outside my lane, I kind of get burned. So I've been sticking to mostly SPACs because I feel like it's like getting in at the ground floor. Like look at Doordash yesterday, right? When they were talking about maybe $102, pricing it, and then it opens at $188. So, there's a lot of risk if you want to get in that trade from the get-go. So these SPACs, give you that opportunity to get in before the IPO, before the rush comes in. And so I've been using that to my, advantage by staying up on the different offerings, the different management teams, and in some cases, buy before there's a target announced, or, buy as soon as the news comes out. And, some of them have been quick trades. Some of them have been, a couple months, longer term investments. But I think you're seeing a lot of quick flipping going on in the SPAC universe, and, people who have been aggressive, decisive, being able to pick the winners and, quickly moving on to the next one have been, rewarded handsomely. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do.
Absolutely. And I love what you're saying about the staying in your lane. You know what I mean? Like if you know a space, hammer it. It's sort of like we were just talking about something, a pick that I made in a media company last week, and it's like I know the space, right? This is where I live. I'm gonna hammer it. So I think everybody can benefit from that type of thinking.
Yep, those are New York Times. And Dan, so I'm putting it in the chat. So if you guys want to hear more thoughts from Dan, you can follow him on Twitter at MindWalletBody. Dan, if you ever want to write a piece too about some of these things, we'd love to have you, write it on Benzinga and come on with more of these ideas. And you're a CPA. You're probably a guy's number I should take. I'm trying to figure, some stuff out. CPAs, like, the good ones are few and far. I swear, like, they just don't, like technology. I feel like CPAs don't like technology, older CPAs, email and all that stuff. So do you have your own firm or you're somewhere else?
I work at a firm based out of Boston, Massachusetts, called AAF CPAs. It's a regional accounting firm. I've been there about 8 years. Yeah.
All right. And so there was one more question in the chat. What was it? Was it LCA they're asking about, or Luke? They asked about what? Oh yeah. Dan, what's your view on LCA? And then I want to know what your views on GAN. That's what I want to know. Go LCA.
Yeah. So LCA is one that I've been very bullish on since the rumor announced. I think it was June 29th. And now we're just seeing it really start to crank up as the merger date approaches. I think people were waiting on. Some people were almost in disbelief that this was going to go through because they felt, that there could be some, related party shenanigans with Tillman, which I always thought was, kind of overblown and BS, to be honest. So I always felt like, that one in the short term might settle in the $25 to $30, range. But knowing that, there's some catalysts that could propel it higher in the short term because they're getting licenses in additional states. And, there could be news at any point that, they're signing deals to go into new states. So they got the wind at their back, I feel. They got a solid brand. And Thomas Winter, the guy who runs the company, he founded the company. It's his baby. I've been really impressed with him. Guy is super focused and has, the right approach. So it's one I'm bullish.
Okay. And then what about GAN?
Yeah, GAN, it's funny, they came through the IPO process and they were really hot, beginning of last year. And, they skyrocketed up almost to around the $30 range, I believe. And they pulled back and they've hung in the $15 to $20 range, closer to the 15 and for quite a while. And, so it's a little bit concerning to see that, the market hasn't really, with some of the, others that have moved up in the space, DraftKings has continued to do well, LCA, has continued to do well, Rush Street, but they've kind of lagged behind. I think that there's some concern that maybe they've tapped out a lot of the, large players already. They're a B2B company, they're operating in the background. But I think there's some concern from shareholders and that, maybe that there's not as many opportunities for the big first tier, so to speak, players. They did just recently announce acquisition of CoolBet, I think, which will occur in the first quarter of 2021. Sportsbook offering. So I need to do a little bit more research to see if that's going to be something that could help them really grow. Yep.
And I don't know either. I'm a holder of GAN. It's one of the ones that hasn't moved the way that I would like it to, but we'll see. We'll see on that. Again, it's a thing behind the thing play. So was hoping they're
Right.
with online gambling. That's like I buy the Twilios. I always like to do the thing behind the thing. So this is awesome, man. We put your Twitter in there. I'll put it in again. If you want to follow Dan, it's Mind Wallet Body on Twitter. If you have any other plays or whatever, ping me, and we'd love to have you come on again. Thanks for doing the analysis. It's nice to have a CPA putting some numbers to the businesses, and maybe you can come back on in a few more weeks.
Thank you, Jason and Luke. Great to meet you guys, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for short notice too, by the way. You're awesome, man. You're really easy to communicate with. So thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, take care, guys.
You too.
All right, thanks, Dan.
All right, Luke, that was great. I mean, CPA, looking at these numbers, that was great. So really enjoyed that one. And I know you have a couple things, the contests and stuff like that, but he knows his stuff. The guy is doing research on the space, and it's good to bring in some other opinions. And just like that, if you guys see people on Twitter that you think are smart, or you want to hear their opinions, or ask the questions to them about the stocks you're interested in, and you see something, send it to Luke and I. We'll bring the person on. I mean, it was like his tweet kind of went viral with those charts, and so I reached out. That's it. And then 2 days later, he's on. So if you guys have names, just literally, I'm Jason Raznick on Twitter. I noticed a lot of you guys just DM me on the private. You can just at me as well and give the recommendations, because then the other person sees the recommendation and it makes the conversation easier and quicker. So just you write the tweet and just at Jason Raznick, RAZNICK. I don't know why we have that C. It's kind of useless. And Luke Jacobi is Luke Jacobi, but it's not a Y, then it's an I. All right, Luke, take it on over. So Zach Morris, if you want us to bring on Zach Morris, then just tweet to him and tweet to me, and we'll bring him on. Like, it's that simple. Now, maybe he won't come on, but more, I would say 80% of the people will come on. That's what I'll say.
Yep, agreed.
I mean, do you guys see my interview with Kevin O'Leary yesterday? I got like another surprise for you guys, in that regard. So just hang in there. I know.
All right.
I'm still waiting for Kathy Wood. I followed up yesterday on the Kathy Wood. I just want to, you guys are going to ask me. So Kathy Wood, I followed up on the date for Kathy Wood. So if you guys want to tweet to her, again, ask her when she's coming on the show, please feel free. But we are waiting for Kathy Wood. I know. I followed up like 2 nights ago. Okay. And then Zach Morris, if you tweet to Zach and myself, we have a better chance of getting it.
Boom.
Thank you.
The move. We got a good one in there too. Let's get Elon on here, which is totally doable. Actually, really doable.
Oh, Elon Musk, yeah.
He loves YouTube communities. But all right, I have to go at 1 o'clock, and I want to make I think some controversial statements.
Well, should I? I'm
ready? All right. So it is time for the question of the week: which IPO should you buy? Doordash versus Airbnb. We had Doordash open for trade yesterday, Airbnb opening for trade today. And I've got a pretty strong opinion on this one. So as you guys know, whenever I'm thinking about stocks, I've got two stories, or two things that I look at. First, you have the story. Second, you have the numbers and the valuation. And what this trade comes down to is whether or not, when we get to a post-pandemic world, you think that DoorDash's sales are going to continue to increase astronomically, and if Airbnb sales will continue to be depressed, right? Here's my opinion, and I think this one is pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to pull up some numbers. I did some digging. I found numbers that are not super easy to grab. Okay, I got to reshare here. All right, I dug through all the filings. I found the numbers. All right, so here's what we're looking at. DoorDash opening for trade. Right now it's got a 56 billion market cap. Airbnb 100 billion market cap. DoorDash revenue from 2019 to 2020 exploded from 885 million to 2.8 billion. Airbnb revenue fell from 4.8 billion to 3.3 billion. So DoorDash revenue jumps 316%. Airbnb revenue falls 31%. Price to sales ratio. If you compare right now for DoorDash, it's 20 times. If you compare pre-pandemic to Airbnb, it's also 20 times. DoorDash, they saw their revenue explode 316%. They did flip to positive EBITDA at 126 million. Airbnb revenue falls negative 300 million of EBITDA. right? So here are the numbers on these stocks. And so here is my opinion. Sell DoorDash, buy Airbnb. This is if we're looking at a longer time horizon, and here's why. DoorDash revenue exploded 316% because of the pandemic, and that makes it have a fair valuation. When we get to post-pandemic world, DoorDash's revenue will fall, and the valuation is just not going to be sustainable. Airbnb, their 2019 revenue is already at a sustainable valuation. That's even with the run up in the price of the stock from the pricing of the IPO. And think about whose revenue is going to grow. DoorDash is going to fall next year. Airbnb's is going to rise. And think about the target customers that each of these go after, right? They're both going after younger people. Right? DoorDash, younger people, they like to go out to restaurants. When they can go to restaurants, they're going to go to restaurants. They're not going to order from home and spend Friday night by themselves. Airbnb, young people, they love Airbnb for booking, right? They're going to be the first ones to get back to travel. It's not going to be the old people who get back to traveling. It's going to be the young people who get back to traveling. Younger people love Airbnb, so they're going to see a spike in sales before hotels do. So again, my call that I'm making is sell DoorDash, buy Airbnb. And let's throw this one out to the chat. I want to see it. If you guys like DoorDash better, hit the 1. If you like Airbnb better, hit the 2. Again, my opinion, sell DoorDash, buy Airbnb. Jason, any opinions on that trade?
I'm a believer in both. Valuations are hard. Valuations are hard. Superior to anyone I've seen on the delivery front. There's no doubt they really have in such an impressive way. So,
and look at the chat right now. We've not had a single DoorDash lover.
I
love Airbnb.
I bought DoorDash for a trade yesterday and made money on it. Actually, I bought it. I put a limit order in before it went public, and it got executed away. And I sold it like half an hour later for a nice like 4% or 6% gain. I could show it. I can show you that it executes the executions. So the valuation is high. Okay, DoorDash has executed superior on delivery. It truly has. I actually became a DoorDash member yesterday, Luke. I was thinking for the office, we should just order lunch for the office way more often and all that stuff. You guys realize these DoorDash type plays or these Uber type plays the valuation's high, but it's all about potential. So what if DoorDash tomorrow offers banking accounts inside of it? I don't think I would open a bank account in it, but the name of the game sometimes is what app are you opening the most, right? I mean, Luke's opening Tinder all day. Just kidding. He has a girlfriend. Yep. But, Grindr. What'd you say?
Grindr, but keep going.
Oh, God. So what app are you opening? I mean, so it's fine, whatever. What app are you opening the most? And so DoorDash right now is being used a lot. My kids are saying, Dad, let's DoorDash it. Let's DoorDash it. So that is, that is one of the things where there's potential. They can announce things, and where valuation sometimes does not make sense. It doesn't make sense where it's currently valued at, right? But it's people look at these as story stocks.
But again, I think the story for DoorDash is screwed up because I think that revenue will fall for DoorDash when we get back to post-pandemic. Right? I think that revenue for Airbnb will rise. So if each of these stocks are at a very similar price to sales ratio right now, you've got one where I think revenue falls, it makes sense. One where revenue rises, it makes sense. I'd rather pick the one where the revenue is going to rise. I think it's a very real scenario that next year, if the stocks are at the same prices they're at today, DoorDash would need to be at a 30 times price sales and Airbnb would need to be at a 15 times price sales. Because
you think the amount of ordering is going to go down away because people will be back doing their thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good point. I mean, it's a very valid and good point.
Okay. And they hired Frank M's son, so they're not making good decisions.
I know, and Frank M is funny. I love that. So one of the things at DoorDash where I was like, this isn't fair, but I was like, okay. I mean, I don't like it. It made me not like DoorDash or something. So I ordered wings for our house like a week and a half ago, and when I went to order wings, it gave me another place that cheaper, better, whatever. I didn't know it was DoorDash. So DoorDash has these virtual cloud kitchens. So instead of ordering from the local retailer, local restaurant, I ordered from this virtual DoorDash thing. So basically DoorDash is cutting out the local restaurants. That is why FUV that was on yesterday, they're saying, these DoorDashes and other places are cutting out the local restaurants because they're building their own little local cloud businesses. And so FUV wants to give the power back to the restaurants and do these 3-wheeler cars with a bunch of delivery people, yada, yada, yada. And they're testing that out in one market right now. But so DoorDash, I didn't like that move. I didn't think that was right to the restaurants. But on the other side is they're executing by building these like cloud restaurants in a quick way. So I was impressed with their execution. It reminded me of Uber 5 years ago. In fact, Uber just kept executing and moving fast. And that is why I was impressed with DoorDash's execution, although I didn't like the business tactic. So that is why I'm saying that. Your next place, your next call for next year and people going out more and not ordering DoorDash, I see the point, and it's at a high valuation.
And especially because it's a lot of younger people who use DoorDash, right? And they're going to want to be out. They're dying to get out, and they're dying to travel and buy freaking Airbnbs. But Jason, I've got to hop off, unfortunately.
I know.
But we didn't do the chat challenge. I just slacked you the link if you do want to pull it up. We've skipped it for 2 days at the Awesome Small Cap event. So if you
what was the
worst performing stock of the week?
Oh, God. All right. So you're gonna go to the thing. You're gonna handle it.
I'm gonna handle it.
You don't need me right now?
It's not even the sprint planning. It's the company-wide development meeting following up from last week.
And I wrote to Bert. What are they discussing? Okay.
Yep. It's yeah.
Should we put it live on the YouTube?
We could. Maybe after we get through the chat challenge. But all right, guys, I gotta hop. I will see you. Happy trading. Sell Dash. Buy Airbnb. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
Yeah. So I feel like you Luke needs to stick around longer. I agree. I feel like we should bring you into internal company stuff, guys. Politics, business decisions, all that kind of stuff. I feel like we should bring you into some of that stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if our team's ready to do that. What do you think? Wait, Frank M, I don't even know what you mean by that. Okay. Oh, I get it. Okay. So it is so maybe we need to start earlier. Maybe we need to start at 12 o'clock. If you want to see the inner scenes behind Benzinga, maybe we can make that public. How many people do you think work we don't use the word work, or we try not to, we say build. How many builders do you think there are at Benzinga? We're trying to create a different kind of company that's just not a place where you just work. You build and create. It's about building and creating. So someone has an innovative idea and they can say what's the positive look, the upside look like, the downside, and what's the obstacle for success. There's a good chance we'll explore it as long as they can execute a wheelbarrow pusher, not a person that sits in the wheelbarrow. And so my point is, we're builders. How many people do you think are builders at Benzinga? How many people do you think? So we got some guesses: 14, 75, 250, 80. Okay, but 26. 1. No, not 1. Yeah, I can tell you way more about the business, guys. We're about 105 people. We probably last year were about 45 people. About 105 now. And if you think there's something you guys can do, make our Twitter better, you want to contract with us, we can pay you whatever. I mean, if you think you can make our Twitter better, or social better, or whatever it is, if you DM me on Twitter and show me some examples, instead of just saying I can do it, show me some examples. Yeah, in terms of going public, our revenue, our growth is larger than a lot of the smaller public companies. I don't know what you would guess our revenue is. Anyone want to guess? I don't know if I'm going to say it here right now, but our revenue is larger than like 20% of the public companies. But there's a lot of public companies that have $5 million in revenue. So, but we're definitely over 5 million. But I don't know if this is the time or place to go over the numbers. But I mean, again, we live one life. If you're a creator and a builder and you want to create sweet stuff or be part of a community or ZingerNation, we're here for you. We're here and we're here to build and create. But you got to be a builder and you got to be kind. You got to be kind and nice. Like there is a no asshole rule. VIZRT. Why are you saying broadcast artists here? VIZRT. Why are you saying that, Peter? I know VIZRT. I looked at it. Why are you saying that right now? You work there, Peter? If you do, message me. So I already pay you, Jack. Wait, well, I didn't tell you to pay me, did I? I didn't say pay me, Jack. All right, I'm gonna go to that same thing Luke's in right now. So I'm gonna go there, and it's in the facial. Okay, All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to go on the thing right here.
And so, it thought it would be helpful to talk about, hey, here's, a little bit of the what went wrong to help